What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. Today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs Charybdis. This is going to be interesting. Now, last video we did Norse mythology. Today we're going to tap into more of Greek mythology, and if you've been a constant viewer, I've been looking for a mythological creature who has the ability to compete on a far range spectrum. And if you haven't been watching, you'll see what I mean. I think we may have found one, but we'll see. So here's the plan. We're going to go over these two monsters, we're going to analyze them in every aspect, and then once we're done with that process, we'll put them against each other in a death battle. So without further ado, let's begin with Godzilla. So, as we know, we are taking the perspective of the legendary Godzilla. His latest appearance was in Godzilla vs. Kong. So, and they are making a second part to that though. Anyways, Godzilla is an ancient alpha predator who was awoken by the nuclear bomb. It protects Earth as the ultimate force of nature. Unlike other aspects of Godzilla within the Toho series, he's more of a creation of the atomic bomb. This Godzilla is more of a protection of Earth, a force of nature. So it's a little bit of a different take. Now, abilities, we're going to do a quick skim. We're going to come back and do a deep analysis. Well, for now, just a quick skim. Atomic breath, combat, agility, and the burning ability. The Territorial is maximum, aggression is maximum, as he is the protector of Earth, Biome is Earth, and height is 120 meters. So going back to the abilities, we have the atomic breath. This is the most important and by far the most famous ability that Godzilla has, which is basically a nuclear fission, a fire that just bursts out of his mouth. And it's almost every single Godzilla has had it, except if you consider the Zilla, 1998 Zilla Godzilla, he's the one who didn't have it. But basically, almost every Godzilla has had it. And it's by far one of the most best abilities because it allows him to fight far range without even touching his opponents, and he could just blast them away with the atomic breath. It's very, very powerful. Next one we have is combat, and the reason why combat I like so much is because specifically the legendary Godzilla is a very, very combat style Godzilla. He's agile, he can kick, he can punch, he can tail whip, he can claw, he can even hit you with his spikes. I mean, a great example would be going a few years back to 2014 in the first legendary Godzilla, where he tail whips the male Muto to death. I mean, his combat was really good. He was a little bit slow in that film, but definitely King of the Monsters, his combat with Ghidorah was intense. And going to his agility, which kind of goes hand in hand, he is the only Godzilla to survive a blast from the oxygen destroyer, which shows how agile he is and how survivally, equipped he is. So definitely adds to it. And he has good stamina, which adds to his agility. Finally, we have the burning ability. Now, this one is a very interesting one. So there needs to be two catalysts. There needs to be Mothra's entire energy, meaning she needs to die and give her full energy and suck into Godzilla, and a nuclear, like a bomb or something like that, hitting him. We could say an atom bomb, right? Which would mean he needs more nuclear radiation his body already possesses. So once those two things are satisfied, he goes into burning mode, which he's basically overheating. He doesn't die from it like the 1995 Godzilla, but he's overheating and he just explodes and melts everything in his path. And that's how he killed Ghidorah. And if those two catalysts are met, that ability turns on, and we're going to assume for the sake of the debate that those two abilities have been met. Okay, that is going to sum up Godzilla. Let's go to our next creature. So Charybdis, as I said, is a Greek mythological monster who is a massive sea monster, and she is the offspring of Poseidon. She is a massive creature who inhabits the seas, in which her massive jaws open up and crush everything by sucking everything and creating whirlpools. Sounds like a nightmare for a sailor. Now for the abilities, again, same thing. We'll do a quick skim, we'll come back. The first one is Whirlpool, Crushing Teeth Bite, and Suction. Alright, Territorial level is medium, aggression is high, biome is ocean, length is 300 meters, so she is big. Very, very big. So let's go back to the abilities and let's break this down because I think this is important. If you're paying attention at the beginning of the video, I think we may have found ourselves a culprit who is going to finally, within this Greek slash Norse mythology, be able to compete in forage because so far none has been able to. I think this is a big deal. So the first one is whirlpool. And we know like whirlpools are basically like underwater tornadoes, and Charybdis can actually create it by opening up her mouth, and she creates whirlpools. And this kind of goes into the suction because there's two abilities: whirlpool and suction. She creates whirlpools, and basically everything gets sucked in. But here's the catch: I think that adds to this is when she takes in this water, she can spit it out very, very far. But because of how powerful she is, when she spits that water out, it is so powerful. It's like basically a sword. That's how much pressure and CFM that water is traveling. So I think it basically becomes similar to Godzilla's atomic breath of how fast. And when water travels really fast, at that speed, it just crushes things. So that kind of basically sums up whirlpool and suction. We have one more ability left, which is crushing teeth bite, which essentially she has a very, very big mouth with very sharp teeth, and whenever she closes it, it's bad, and it could destroy opponents, rip flesh, rip up organs, and just destroy. And not to mention, she is like a massive snake slash serpent, so she can suck her opponents within the mouth and just crush them. Okay, well, that essentially is going to sum up both of our monsters. Now, obviously, Charybdis lives in the ocean, and she can't leave. And so, therefore, this battle is going to take place in the ocean. Now, the way we do the death battle is far range and close range. The reason why I do this in this way is because far range limits some abilities, and it's going to happen at some point, and it's a really good way to test an opponent out to see if they can handle different types of combat. It's a really effective way. And then close range is just, face to face, all out. So we're going to begin with far range, and we're going to say 700 meters apart. So that means there is absolutely no physical contact. Any ability that requires physical contact is disqualified in this specific level of the debate. So we're going to begin with Charybdis. So we said she has whirlpool. Now the whirlpool itself, it's not going to do anything in just the whirlpool itself because it's not going to touch Godzilla, so that's fine. The crushing teeth bite, that's disqualified because, well, she needs to physically touch Godzilla to bite him, right? So that's disqualified because remember, no physical contact. But the suction, in the sense, not in sucking Godzilla in, but sucking the water in to shoot it out, that is qualified. And so she officially becomes one of the first mythological creatures on this debate show that makes the far range cut, and I think that's huge. So yeah, she can shoot that very, very sharp water out in super high speeds. So yeah, she makes the far range level. Now, for Godzilla, the atomic breath, of course, is meant to go far distance, so that's fine. Combat, again, combat needs physical contact, so combat is disqualified. Agility, that's just a trait, so that's fine. Burning ability, that's also fine. All right, now, personally, from the statistics, Godzilla is a force of nature. He's meant to protect nature, so I believe Godzilla is going to be the first one to attack. And we all know the most famous ability, it's going to be the atomic breath. So I believe he's going to use the atomic breath. And do I think it's going to do damage to Charybdis? Yes, but remember, she is... Godzilla can swim, but she is like literally living in the ocean, and I think her swimming abilities are going to be better, faster, and just better in concept of how to swim and where to go. So is he going to catch her a few times? I think within the atomic breath, it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to do too much damage. Plus, given the water's probably going to cool down the atomic breath the moment it hits the water and goes to Charybdis. It's going to do damage, but I don't think too bad. The only chance I think that Godzilla has right now is the burning ability, which is going to melt and all that stuff. But let us not forget Charybdis's powerful whirlpool that she can spit out. And there's all sorts of mountains and rocks and just formations in the ocean that she can break and suck into her mouth. And imagine at that insane speed, and she just spits that out to Godzilla. That is going to crush him. I genuinely believe that Godzilla will not survive that water burst because here's the two elements. There's mini islands, there's sharp rocks, and everything that's gonna be sucked into the mouth, including the sheer speed and power of that water. I truly believe it is going to cut a hole straight through Godzilla and kill him. That's what I'm seeing. So, because of that, I'm gonna give 1 point to Charybdis for far range. So right now we're sitting at 1-0 Charybdis. And let's go to close range now. Things are gonna get different here. Close range, I think Godzilla is gonna have a little bit of an upper hand. Now I'm gonna explain why, but let's first break this down. Charybdis is 300 meters long. Godzilla is approximately 120 meters tall. Now Godzilla is going to swim, I think, not faster than Charybdis, but I think quicker in terms of going left and right, making maneuvers, because he's smaller and they're close. It's more close combat. And there's going to be a lot of mini attacks. Combat, we said Godzilla's really good in clawing, biting, tail whipping. It's going to do some damage there. But let's also take into perspective, Charybdis is, I don't know, almost 3 times as big as Godzilla. So the ratio of his damages to Charybdis' body is less, so that's not going to do too much damage. I personally believe the mouth is really, really big of Charybdis, and she's going to be able to suck in Godzilla, and the massive crushing teeth bite are just going to destroy him. And again, I think Charybdis is going to win this. It's insane. It's been really difficult to give wins to these mythological monsters against Godzilla, but I think this one takes it, guys. 2-0, and winner Charybdis. Now, obviously, this is a debate. You can argue with me. You cannot agree with me. That's fine. You can comment below your views. I'm going to put the stats in the description so you could use that for reference. And yeah, let's have a debate in the comment section. And also, feel free to leave ideas for next videos. But so we're going to sit at 2-0. The winner is going to be Charybdis. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.